attacks from foreign corporations, forcing many farmers to abandon their traditional lands and seek work in modern-day slums. Here in the United States, Monsanto continues to destroy local food systems and drive farmers off their land. When I visited the Midwest, there were areas where people are afraid to even say Monsanto for fear of being sued for slander. Monsanto has increasingly lobbied our government for pro-business legislation like the Monsanto Protection Act. Many positions in the Food and Drug Administration, an agency designed to regulate our food, are filled by ex-executives of Monsanto.
Thank you, Obama.
It is time for us to start asking, how is it possible for a government to support the desires of a people when the executives made millions are in positions to regulate the very products they created?
I'm more concerned with the audio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm more concerned with getting the audio.
The good news is that people are starting to fight back like us. Today in hundreds of cities throughout the world, people are in the streets demanding an end to the Monsanto machine. As many of you know, Vermont has been at the forefront of this fight. Due to grassroots pressure, we are on the verge of passing the first bill in the U.S. which would require all GMOs to be labeled. Knowing what we'll eat will give us as consumers greater power to send Monsanto a strong message that we do not want to eat food that displaces farmers and has disastrous health effects for our communities. It is through marches like today, street theater, and talking to our neighbors that we have the ability to shut down Monsanto. Of course, Monsanto will not go down without a fight. Monsanto's even threatened to sue the state of Vermont. This is deplorable behavior.
Bring it!
This is deplorable behavior, and I fully believe that the great people of Vermont will not be bullied by a multinational billion-dollar corporation. Vermont has a long history of leading the nation for social justice, including civil rights, abolition, and gay marriage. And we are going to be the first state to label our food, even if we have to get sticker guns and go into the grocery stores ourselves. All the farmers I know are proud of their products. They are proud of their food. If Monsanto feels they've created such great food, why wouldn't they want the world to know? They should thank us for the free advertising. At Rising Tide, we believe that all environmental issues such as GMO food, tar sands, and fracking are connected.
Yes.
Corporations want us to stay divided so that we are pitted against each other. It is time that we fight together for a world where people live in harmony with the land and where human rights are respected.
Yes.
Right now at Rising Tide, we are gearing up for a fight against fracking to stop the Vermont gas pipeline and work in solidarity with Indigenous people and frontline communities fighting environmental destruction.
Yes.
If you're as excited by a vision of grassroots solutions to climate change rather than greenwashing, please see myself over here and we can talk about Rising Tide. I call on all the people of Vermont to get out your sticker guns and start labeling food throughout the grocery stores and prepare to put your bodies on the line to fight fracking and tar sands if necessary.
All right.
On behalf of Rising Tide, I thank you all so much for coming out today and standing in solidarity with people throughout the world committing to fighting Monsanto and supporting local food systems. To the people of the world fighting corporate tyranny, I would like to express profound thanks for your tireless work. To Monsanto, I only have 5 words for you. We are coming for you. Thank you, Emily. All right, so next up we have Andrea Stander from rural Vermont.
Andrea.
You warming up?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Is anyone dry?
No.
Andrea Stander. I'm the director of Rural Vermont. Like Kat, we are part of the Vermont Right to Know Coalition that's working on the labeling bill. That coalition also includes our colleagues at the Vermont Public Interest Research Group and also at NOFA Vermont, Northeast Organic Farmers. So thanks to all of them. They couldn't be here today, but they're here in spirit. Some of you are probably part of those organizations. So, as I think Kat said earlier, we're working here in Vermont to be the first state to pass a law requiring that all GMO foods be labeled. That's a big fight. We've been at it for a number of years. And we made a big step this year. We passed it through the House by a big vote. We're going to the Senate. And I just want to correct one thing in deference to our colleagues in Connecticut who are also trying to pass a labeling bill. This past week, they passed their labeling bill through their Senate on a vote of 35-1. Unfortunately, as an example of what we're up against, when the bill went over to the House, their Speaker of the House and their governor colluded to put a terrible amendment onto the bill saying that they could not pass their bill until 5 other states, 2 of which had to be New Jersey and New York, a combined population of 25 million, before their bill could go into effect. So if you have friends or family in Connecticut, you want to stand in solidarity with them and help them pass their bill. We need to all work together on this because the more states that take action, that make progress, the easier it's going to be for somebody to win. And hopefully that's going to be us next January. And at Rural Vermont, we're all about action. And I want to get everyone here to make a commitment to do at least one of the 4 things that are on this little flyer, which is on the table over there. One thing is, how many people have signed the petition online of VT Right to Know? If you haven't done that yet, please, when you go home, as soon as you have internet capability, if you can do it right now, do it from your phone. Go on to the VT Right to Know site, sign our petition. We're very close to having 10,000 Vermonters sign that petition. I'd love to see that go over the top this weekend. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, look up on our website. You can see who voted for the bill in the House, and call your representative and thank them if they voted for the bill. If they voted against the bill, call them up and tell them how unhappy you are about that. And that when the election comes in 2014, they're going to pay the price. The next and most important thing to do is to call your senator. Okay, we have 30 senators in Vermont, 1 for each county, or 2 for each county, or 3 for each county. Depends, it varies, depending on where you live. You can go on the Vermont legislative webpage and find out who your senator is, if you don't already know. If you don't already know, that's a piece of information you should have in your head. So please find out. And as Kat said, we need to keep up a steady drumbeat of phone calls, emails, and face-to-face conversations with those senators between now and January. They need to hear about this every single week. A week should not go by that they don't get messages, that they don't have phone calls. And Vermont's a great state. You're going to see your senators at the farmers market, at the summer festivals, at wherever your people gather in your community. So look for them. Know who they are. Find out what they look like and seek them out. We want them to hear from you every single week. How many people are willing to make that commitment to seek out your senator and talk to them? Okay. The last thing I want to mention is there's a lot going on at the national level too. And there are 2 big red herrings that are being thrown around. One is that we should label non-GMO food. No! That is not where we want to go. It's patently unfair to make those who are not using GMOs to bear the burden of labeling their food, particularly when it's so difficult to figure out if you're using GMOs or not. So we have to reject that whenever it is offered as an alternative. So how many people are willing to commit? We must label GMOs. Yes, exactly. At the national level, there's talk that what we need is national labeling. Well, that would be lovely. But as someone already told you, our national regulatory system is infused, our government is infused with people who are committed to Monsanto's vision. We cannot depend on federal action to do this. We have to do this at the grassroots level. We have to do this at the state level. So how many people are willing to commit to help us pass the GMO labeling bill next January? That's going to mean showing up, that's going to mean talking to your senators, and not giving up until we pass. Is Will Allen anywhere in the crowd? Will Allen from Cedar Circle Farm. There he is. All right. Put it together for Will Allen, manager of Cedar Circle Farm, and working on this issue for at least 30 years, 40 years, 50 years.
I'm shooting today for the Associated Press and
It's just thrilled to see all of you. I mean,
editorial
you guys are real Vermonters to come out for this. And we're going to do this with your help. The only way we got the legislature to pass this year is because of you. What you all did made all the difference. And we're in Vermont where